And we're back.
All
Well,
right.
hello there.
Glad to be back.
Have
So,
we started recording now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got
yes,
a
we
text
have.
right as that all happened. I'm sorry. Important text. Anyway, welcome back to the
Yeah,
podcast. Since no one else was prepared for an intro, we're back with our special guest. Introduce yourself once again.
How you doing? I'm Diamond Knight.
We're back with the regular hosts. Say hi, you guys.
hello.
Hi.
Alright, well then, Parker's leading this one, so I guess he'll jump right in.
All right. Now, in the last episode that we had with you on, you mentioned that you did some sort of photo shoot recently. What was that for, and what was that like?
That was a photo shoot in Nashville, Tennessee, hosted by Von Donald. And it was the Day of the Dead photo shoot.
Okay.
Dia de los Muertos. And it was crazy. We had the face paint, like skeletons and costumes. We took pictures in a park and then a cemetery.
Ooh,
That's
shit.
awesome. Where were those posted to? Like, what were they on?
I was actually published in a magazine called
Okay.
BBW, and it's capital B, capital B, capital D, UBYA.
All right.
I had
That's
to say it
awesome.
like BBW
Congratulations.
is a big woman.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first thought, but hey, glad you spelled it out.
Thank you.
Um, well, congratulations. What's has COVID really had an effect on modeling for you, or just the acting side of things?
For some parts it has. Um, October 3rd, I did a fashion show, which was No Heels to Heal. And we still had to be 6 feet apart or have masks. And it was a little different, but we managed. Trying to stay
No.
6 feet apart. If you're not 6 feet, then you had to put your mask on. And
Now, is that runway?
yes,
Okay, so you do both runway and print. That's awesome.
It's
yep.
fucking amazing. Hey, before we move on to the next topic, I've got to ask, and I know this is the stupidest question. Do you guys have, like, cookies and stuff, like, themed, like the Day of the Dead, for, like, that photo shoot you mentioned earlier?
Did we have cookies?
Yeah, like, little
What?
festive, like, I don't know, like,
Like
little festive treats.
like crafting table?
Like,
Yeah. Well, like,
no,
yeah, at the crafted table, but, like, to celebrate kind of, like, the occasion, you know? Like, almost like Halloween cookies.
no, we didn't do that much of it. It was just whatever you would be buried in, and the face paint, and then we just go film. And even though we was dead, I had to look radiant and look alive in all my pictures.
It kind of reminds me of
Now, was that
things.
photo shoot on the Day of the Dead, or was that like just before for the occasion?
What day is the Day of Dead on?
Cinco de
I'm
Mayo,
about to
May
look that
5th.
up, to be honest. No, that is not Cinco de Mayo. Dios
That's
de los Muertos.
Oh, different day. Sorry.
Real
That
quick
would
side
be.
question.
It's 3 days, October 31st to November 2nd.
Ooh.
Oh, it was before.
Cool.
I was gonna say I hope so.
But just a quick question about your modeling. I know
Yes.
even like not even just now when we have even higher, beauty standards and like social what we are kind of coerced into believing is the definition of beauty. Like I'm sure even back when you were a kid, there was like body shaming and all of these things, and that's hard. It's something that I've noticed is hard for every woman, regardless of their age or any other factor. Um, how is it that you were able to overcome that growing up to kind of give you the confidence for modeling? Because I know it's one thing
Um,
to like know you're beautiful, like, or be told by someone else, but then to like kind of realize it for yourself, you know?
Well, for me, I didn't have a problem with being picked on, or I consider myself pretty anyway. I was the little bougie girl.
Bad bitch alert.
Um, I was a little bougie girl. I was a little prissy girl. I wanted to be in the spotlight, and couldn't nobody outdo me. I'm very competitive. If you're doing it, I can do it better.
That's a great mentality to have as far as motivation and keeping yourself successful goes. Have you found any sort of downfalls to that? Like, have you had falling outs with a lot of your friends or anything because of your mentality?
If anybody or we ever fallen out, then you was never my friend to begin with.
Facts.
True shit.
And the way I am, it's like this. You can get lost in this ride if you want to. I'm not turning around to pick you up.
I like that.
If you're my friend, then you're gonna support me and I'm gonna support you and we're gonna push each other. If you're trying to push me down, then I'm gonna leave you right where you at.
You gotta leave that negative energy behind.
It's not gonna get me nowhere.
Here's my
Now,
question:
am
how'd
I
you get into
correct in?
modeling? Sorry about that.
No worries. What was your question, Butch?
I was gonna say, how'd you get into modeling?
Um, that started when I was young. When I was younger, I used to watch soap operas with my grandmother,
The Young and the
and she would
Restless.
watch All My Children.
Yo, love it.
And Erica Kane was my role model.
Word.
She was fierce. She got respect. She got what she wanted. And she got it by any means necessary. When she walked into a room, she turned heads. That's what I wanted. And that's how all the green lights started for me.
Very
Susan
interesting.
Lucci.
Lord knows, I've seen a lot of soap operas myself.
Now, am I correct in I am pretty sure that you're also into the management side of things as well, right?
I am.
That
I have a lot going on.
sounds like it.
I model. Um, I'm an actress. Let's see, I've done TV shows. I've done a movie now. I'm a brand ambassador for two companies. One is a black owned business that has a lingerie company online called Hudson and Newkirk.
Let's go. Black Power.
And that is here in Atlanta. And the other one is Country Glamour Cosmetics in Tennessee. That was the lady who did my makeup for the Day of the Dead photo shoot.
Okay,
Sharika.
that's
And
awesome.
let's see. I've been in two magazines. Let's see. I recently got thrown into music management. I do have one artist. Her name is Drea Price.
I think we've actually had her on the podcast before.
Yes. And she got signed to Rising Sun World Entertainment on September 1st.
Congratulations to her. That's amazing to hear.
Well, thank you. And her single, Kush Crushing, will be coming out November 1st.
Hey,
I got confirmation today that it will be dropping in 14 days.
That's amazing. Is it going to be on like Apple Music and Spotify and all that?
It will be on major platforms. It will be on Apple, YouTube, Pandora, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
Damn.
MediaNet, Desert, some other places I've never heard of. It's like 10 major platforms she's going to be on.
How do you balance all of this in your day-to-day life? You seem to have a booked up schedule. That's insane to me.
On top of that, I hear you and her share a shared hobby of football.
Yes, we both play women's flag football contact, but we're on opposing teams.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a little crazy right there. You going against your manager? Be like, do I pull this one? Do I run past? I mean, shoot. What she just yell at me? She said I'm getting benched on the label. What she mean?
Well, between our coaches, it's like, you better do your hardest when you come out here.
Hey, ain't that the truth?
So it's like, we cool, but when it's on the field, you better play for your team. Leave everything else where it's supposed to be.
Heck yeah, I feel that.
I play for the Carolina Diamonds, and she plays for the Lady Rangers. And we face each other the last game of the season before the championship.
Here's my question: how has Corona changed like playing in that league? And also, do you guys ever play with like other states or anything? Is this like a countrywide thing or just like a little state?
It all depends. There are a lot of tournaments. In August, we was in a tournament in Pineville, Charlotte,
Yeah.
and next weekend, we'll be back in Atlanta for a tournament. It's a Halloween tournament that's hosted in Atlanta on the 24th and the 25th.
Trying to hook me up with some tickets.
And most teams, when we're on the field, we opt to wear face masks if you want to. That'll be your discretion. If you feel the need to, then you wear a face mask. But the referees and the commissioners, just like everybody else, if you've been sick, don't come out here. If you've been around anybody that's been sick, stay at home. They do take your temperature. They do 2 checks on the forehead and the wrist. And then they go from there. Then you got to fill out a waiver saying, no, I haven't been outside the country, or you haven't been sick, the normal stuff that we're doing now.
Yeah, the new norm.
And, you kind of want to be honest about it, because if you're being honest and somebody else is not being honest, then chances are you're going to catch it. So if everybody is honest and doing their actual part, then we can still engage and have a social life.
True. Did you say
So,
partner?
yeah.
So what about the afterlife, guys?
Oh, we just don't jump in there like that, right?
No, I thought he was saying something. I saw the bubble start like
that.
Doing the thing, and I was like, "Oh shit, is he saying something? What's happening?"
I had to fill that silence, man. I didn't know how to.
Yeah.
So the afterlife. Cough, cough.
What do you think there is?
I don't know, because I won't be here.
Yeah. True.
I mean, will you remember it if you die and come back as something else? Will you actually remember you being you?
If I do,
I don't think so, because I mean, like, you don't remember anything right now of other lives.
So how do you know there is an afterlife if you have no remembrance of it?
Who's to say we don't remember it as children? Whoa. There has to be some reason why children are just sitting there looking like, come on now.
I mean, then you also hear those stories. Yeah, you also hear those stories of like children who are like, "Oh, this happened to me, but I wasn't. This was like before this me was born." Like they're talking about like an afterlife that they had, and
And that
sometimes
could
like
be
if you look it
also
up,
that could
sorry,
also
go
be
ahead.
they just had.
It could
Yep.
also
Yeah.
be
Remember
my
bits
dreams
and
are pretty
pieces.
vivid.
Your brain does do a complete memory reset at like 3 years old, from what I've read, though.
3?
So, yeah.
5?
I mean, like, maybe, but like, not what I read.
Like, come on. As a parent, I'll tell you, come on now. Like, you can see the switch. I can see, like, Skylar's memory turn on and everything. I was like, oh, 4 years old. Okay. Close enough.
I think a lot of it turns into like kind of religious beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we all know
Like a lot of
something's gonna
people,
happen. We're gonna die.
like if they believed in like God, then like they would believe in that afterlife. But then they're like atheists. Like I mean, currently I'm working on what I believe because I don't feel like I know enough about anything to feel comfortable saying I believe in it. But like
So
I believe that it's sorry, go ahead.
are you looking at afterlife being whether you living in heaven or hell?
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, I don't know enough about, like, for instance, like Christianity, right? I wouldn't say I
Mm-hmm.
knew enough about it to say that it's something that I believe in. But, like, given everything that we are as humans and everything that we've done and, like, everything we have accessible to us on this earth, I believe that there's got to be, like, something more out there. Whether it's, like, an afterlife or a higher power, like, I think it's selfish to think that like we're all there is, you know, like we're our planet alone is just in this singular galaxy and there's like billions of stars and there's supposedly an entire galaxy for each single star. So it's almost selfish to believe that, we're all there is. But what I will tell you, which I learned, is that um, like all of these galaxies, these billions of galaxies in our universe, each one of them has what we have in ours, which is like a black hole, we can assume, like the Milky Way kind of, which is like what we assume to be like this just black abyss, right?
Somewhat. I think it's a wormhole.
Yeah. But I mean, we know that it's there. And slowly but surely, we know that,
We know there's
or
an
at least from what
absence
I've read,
of, like,
huh?
matter at that point. I don't know that there's a black hole there. I can't say personally that I've ever seen there being a black hole there. Like Nikki had said, we do. Like, I don't know. Like, they say that there's
Yeah.
an absence of matter in space around us somewhere.
I'm just saying, like, we know, like, of that theory,
That's even
you know.
worse.
But I don't know how to phrase it. Like we've heard of black holes and like these things.
It's somewhat common knowledge at this point.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So you don't know enough about Christianity to understand that there may or may not be life after death, but
Yeah.
yet you really don't have the proof that there are black holes and wormholes, like Murray said, out there.
I mean, like, I'm sure, like, I just haven't read it, but I know, like, we hear from, like, NASA and stuff like that, that, like, it's as real as, the other planets in our orbit, like, that are orbiting the sun,
Are
in
you
our
saying
solar
the Earth is
system.
round?
Oh my God.
What?
Are you saying the Earth isn't the center of the universe?
Come on now. The fuck?
Don't put me on the spot like that.
I'm just
Earth is
asking.
totally flat.
There's no putting on the spot. What do you mean? Just come on, we're flat. Look
I
at it.
mean,
It's a picture.
I believe that the Earth is round,
Earth
personally.
is flat. This is why water runs down and not up.
I'll show you a whole picture, girl, and you're about to be like, okay, that's the Earth, and I'm about to be like, and it's flat. There you go. Proof.
We've done the science time and time again, and something messed up. The Earth is flat. I
You
promise.
people keep coming around with your round Earth theory. Like, one day y'all gonna fall off. Stop playing.
Oh gosh.
Put that shit.
My point being though, I'm saying that like as far as afterlife and stuff like that, like I'm someone that like it's very hard to convince me of something unless like I can see it for myself. Like I wouldn't dedicate like my time and efforts into something that like I didn't know enough about, you know? Which is why like as of right now I don't believe that, you know, there's an afterlife. For me, it's just like, okay,
Well, after you
someday I'm
experience,
gonna be in the ground and I'm gonna be replenishing the earth. And the decisions that I make today are my only chances to make these decisions. And if there were an afterlife, that's great. That's just, you know, more opportunity. But like, I wouldn't want to like not do certain things or miss out on certain opportunities for the fear of like some consequence after I pass, you know?
true. Well, in my experience, I can tell you for sure. I know the afterlife is real, but past that, the circle of
How do
life
you
for sure.
know?
The same way you probably know the afterlife is real. After my many experiences out here, I just know. And it's hard to put the like what I've experienced into words, you know, what you see with your eyes and what you feel with your soul. It's hard to say in words, you know. Even like
But you're not saying that you've died and experienced an afterlife, and now you're like back.
how do I say no to that? But I will say I've died and I'm still here. I would say that every
Yeah.
Christian supposedly dies and gets reborn, called baptism. I mean, is it so different to say that I've not been baptized in different ways? Once you see
I
the
don't know,
knowledge, you
man.
can't go back, I'll tell you that much.
I'm not versed on baptism, unfortunately.
Me neither. But I do have people around me that are. With that being said,
Well,
though, I
My
don't.
brain hurts.
A little bit, a little bit. With that being said, I don't. I don't feel like the afterlife is so serious after knowing the knowledge that I know. I feel like we should always focus on the now because even in the afterlife, it's still going to be the now when you think about it. People get too wrapped up in the future and start making plans for the future that they don't know exists. Even if we aren't talking about the afterlife, people still get wrapped up making plans for a future that they're not sure is going to happen. But you still have to have
you're never
faith
gonna be able to live in tomorrow.
in that.
It's always gonna be today.
Yep. Tomorrow will
Or
never come.
yesterday. Unfortunately, that is a great place to wrap up because we are have extended time limit. If I can speak the words. I guess I'll be doing the outro. Thank you so much, Miss Diamond, for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
You're good. Thanks. Sorry. Thank you for telling us about these many opportunities. We will link to these in hopefully all these episodes that you're on, the two. And if you ever do come back on, we will link to any other stuff necessary. Because Lord knows, we would like to support you in any futures that are to come. And we can't wait for the release of your artist's newest single.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very much welcome. Do like and subscribe and comment. And thank you for joining us tonight. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice one.